Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, are you getting ready for your pre-holiday stuff, for those of you that do that? If you've been shopping today, getting your last minute, yams and sweet potatoes and turkeys and stuffing and standing and fighting through the long lines to pay a ridiculous price for the food that you're going to stuff your face and regret eating too much tomorrow. How many of you, I want to see a share, raise your hand so I can see you. How many of you plan on getting out early Friday morning? You got to get out there early so that you can get your big flat screen TV, because you need another one. I mean, don't listen to the people like myself. You need to get out there and buy you some more TVs, fight over them, and I'm sure a bunch of other ridiculous stuff that's out there on sale Friday morning. They jack the prices up on it this week and then lower them back down Friday morning to make you think that you're getting a really good deal. Anyways, wanted to give you a little bit of a warning that it's possible things could get hairy starting, well, today, apparently. There's been some concern and warnings that the holiday season could bring some terrorist attacks to the United States. We have all this stuff in the Middle East heating up, and we have hundreds of thousands of people coming across the border every month, many of them military-aged males. And there was a warning that New York could be a target. And, well, it apparently maybe, I don't know, it's possible it was today. If you haven't heard the news, a couple of hours ago, there was what was said to be a car bombing at the border at Niagara Falls in New York, just on the American side, actually at the gates where you cross into Canada. Said that it was a car bomb that went off, but now there's some retraction or some confusion or conflicting stories that maybe it wasn't a car bomb, that maybe it was a high-speed car fleeing the police and it crashed into the barriers and exploded. The reports are right now is that they can't find any explosive, but they did shut down the airports, shut down the border there at that area, and they have the FBI Terrorism Task Force on alert, and they're out there doing their job, apparently, because they're so good at tracking down all of those January 6th terrorists. Might as well get the rest of them out there. Anyways, from the reporting is the only people that died were the people driving the car, and then a border guard was injured. I did see the explosion, and I'm no explosives expert. I mean, I've been around a few things that go boom, but I'm no expert. But it didn't really look to me like a car bomb blowing up. It looked like, a gas tank of a car blowing up. But anyways, there's some reports out there saying that there were Iranian passports found. Now, that could be fake news. I haven't been able to confirm that. I have seen a couple of places say that, but I don't know. I will say that this does seem a little on the strange side. The reaction to it, if it was just a car that crashed into a pylon or some barrier and exploded, it seems that that would be pretty obvious to all the people standing around, and that's how it would be reported. But the call came through that it was a car bomb that blew up. So I don't know. And then there was reports that the FBI and the police there were searching for a second vehicle that could be a potential threat, because there was reports of a second vehicle. Now, again, I'm not here to go through all the minutia of this, because none of us know the facts anyways. Unless you just happen to be there, no one else really knows. We don't know how much of this is true, fake, false flag, or just misunderstanding. But I think it could be, even if it is just an accident, it could be used to cause people to become a little bit more fearful and to kind of play into a big old psyop. And so I think it's a wise thing to be a little bit cautious over the next days or weeks as things start heating up and continue to do so. I know that there's a proposed ceasefire. I hate to be pessimistic, but I don't think that it's going to, I don't even think it's going to last the 4 days they've proposed, but I don't think it's going to do too much. there's a lot of activity between the United States and Iranian-backed militias in Iraq and Syria, and Iraq is condemning the United States, saying that they are violating Iraq's sovereignty by attacking these positions in Iraq. So things are heating up there. Things are heating up between Israel and Lebanon. You know, if there is a ceasefire that goes on with Gaza, that doesn't stop Israel from turning its attention for those few days to Lebanon or Syria. So that's very likely to happen also. Bottom line is I think things are going to continue to progress. And we've seen a lot of violent things happening here in the United States, a lot of random shootings. I've noticed a lot of shootings here lately on military bases, in and around military bases. I find that's kind of interesting. And then, of course, everything pouring across the border. There was a news report that they are dumping illegals off into the desert areas like Bureau of Land Management areas in California. I've gotten some pretty credible reports of buses filled with illegals being dropped off at small towns in the Midwest. You know, it's maybe not enough of confirmation for me to, you know, completely broadcast it, but it's stuff that's coming in, and I think it's very likely. And so when we look at the illegal problem, the Middle Eastern war problem, and the fact that there are, I mean, easily hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in this country that could be activated to do bad things. And so you need to be cautious. If you are participating and celebrating Thanksgiving and you're going off to maybe a bigger city or a public place, be cautious, keep your head on a swivel. All of this congregating in big stores and going shopping and stuff, it's a perfect place for bad people to do bad things. So be cautious of that. And I'm not even saying it's always going to be the foreign kind of people that do this. It could be inside jobs. You know, we can't put them past that. The fact is that these things are becoming more likely to happen, and you need to be cautious when you're out and about. I mean, I believe a person should be armed at all times, and I believe you should not just be armed, but know how to use it. And I believe you should be pretty smart, use some wisdom about where you go. I don't care personally if it's cheaper or fancier or has more of what you want. If it's unsafe, don't go there. Use some common sense. I mean, we don't go into the big cities. Could we save money? Maybe. I don't know. With the drive, probably not. But could we get better of what we want if we went into the big cities? Yeah, but there's a lot more risk, a lot more danger, and our family and our children are exposed to things that we don't want them to see. So we stick to the small towns, and we just do. And we're very cautious when we go out. Not because we live in a bad area or because there's high crime. In fact, it's just the opposite. The areas that we live in, they're low crime. But we live in a world that things could happen anywhere. We've seen over the last year or so the amount of criminal activities and shootings and stuff that's happened in fairly small communities. So it's not just the big cities. And I think we're going to continue to see that to happen. Could there be a real terrorist attack? Maybe this one is, I don't know, in the coming days? Yeah, it's possible. There's been speculation that if this was done by terrorists, that it was just maybe kind of testing the fence, so to speak, to see the reaction. I don't know, but I think it's wise to be ready. It should be ready all the time. You should have your head on a swivel at all times, I believe. You don't have to be in this heightened, tense state all the time, but you should always have your head on a swivel. Those of you like myself that's had some type of formal training and done things for a job, for a living, that entails that training, you're kind of used to it by now. I don't go anywhere that it's not. I wouldn't even know how to naturally behave not having my head on a swivel. It just comes natural to me, and you should try to make it natural to you. Don't be one of these mindless zombies that walks in and out of stores with your face in your phone, or completely oblivious to what is going on around you. Take notice. Notice what's going on around you. Pay attention. And be on your ready, and always have a plan in your head. When you're going in and out of a store, you're in a store, you're going places and doing things, have a plan of what you would do if something happened. How would you get out of there? How would you react? Because it's very possible that we are entering a time period. I mean, we already are with the mass shooting stuff, but it's possible that we're entering a time period where things like the terrorist attacks and car bombings and stuff like that could become more regular. And at some point, they may hit close to home for some of you. So be ready for that. Make sure you spend some time tomorrow with family, if you're able to, reflecting on the great, wonderful things that God has given us. Because in the end, it still is pretty amazing what He does in our lives. You know, we can be Debbie Downers all we want about our personal lives and how the state of the world is in, but in the end, we live a very good life, and it's all because of a gracious and almighty Father in heaven. And so we should give Him thanks for that, because that's the real Thanksgiving. Folks, you need to be getting your houses in order and preparing yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.